anybody to match that, right? Like,
yeah, because you're not going to get 20 years.
That longevity that you talk about.
Yeah.
So, you know, and it's not all about rings. You could make the case
Oh, in this case, we're talking about the rings.
Yeah.
Just because it's greatness. And it might not be, if Patrick Mahomes doesn't play for 20 years, is he going to get 7 rings? Probably not. But if he plays for 10 years and gets 5 or gets, 6, like, ain't nobody doing that. What up? It's Three Brothers No Sense, your favorite barbershop style podcast. I am Ferg. I ain't giving my government name out anymore. Join my co-hosts, Buff and Rozzy, because I don't trust the government right now. Take it away, fellas.
Speaking of government, so I think we made kind of like a pact or a vow that once 45, now 47, came president, that we wouldn't spend each week talking about him. We were going to ignore him. So I'm not going to say Three Brothers is breaking that pact, but Buff is. Because on a serious note, and I am going to say on the front end that this could be a stretch, but hear me out. Elon Musk, who donated $250 million to Trump to get elected, has a lot to say so in his administration. Until they inevitably fall out, of course. But right now, he has a lot of influence in his administration. About 2 weeks before Trump was sworn in, Elon Musk has this rocket, I think it's called SpaceX or whatever it is. He launched it. The motherfucker blew up in the air. Particles all over Turks and Caicos. Luckily, from what I read, nobody was injured, but still, they had to duck and dodge. Rocket fragments falling from the sky. And it caused such a disturbance that the FAA had to delay flights. And I saw where flights as far as I think it was either South Africa or South America had to be delayed. So he delayed a lot. And so the FAA was like, hey, man, look, until you figure out how to launch without it blowing up in the air, we're going to have to ground you. You can't fly no more. He gets mad at what is he called? The director of the FAA? The FAA chief? Something like that, whatever. He gets mad and tweets that guy should resign or be fired. Fast forward to Trump's inauguration. And on, I think the very first day, I think that Monday, dude January was 20th. Fired. Yeah, dude was fired. So we have no FAA director. It's not like they had somebody to replace him. That's the one thing. If you know you're going to replace somebody, I don't even know. If you know you're going to fire somebody, at least have somebody in waiting to take over. So you fast forward, and I'm at work late on a Wednesday.
Oh. But before that happened, let's not act like we didn't have a hiring freeze. So so there's a hiring freeze that happens on January 20th. So nobody can get hired anywhere. And there was a mass email asking people to resign and giving accelerated bonuses and stuff. A return to work mandate so that people would resign because they had to return to work. A couple other things, buyout. But basically there was a lot of people that took the buyout, that stopped coming to work. You couldn't backfill any positions. So now we're understaffed without a head. Okay, proceed, Buff.
I'm at work Wednesday, and we get news.
Where do you work, Byron?
At the Capitol. Which, by the way, if you've never been to DC, if you land at DCA, you can see the Capitol once you land, because you are right on the other side of this river called the Potomac.
Yep.
Get word that a plane crashes. And obviously when things like that happen, you get a little mixed information. At first we thought it was a DC police helicopter. Then you later find out it's a military Black Hawk helicopter. By now, though, U.S. the listeners, y'all all know what happened. I said all that to say that it very well could not have been because we didn't have an FAA director. I am willing to say that. That probably could have happened if we had they can't. It's over 400 major airports in this country. There's no way one person's going to be able to whatever. But you have to admit it looks bad. Okay. When you fire someone that's in charge of keeping the air and the aircraft safe, and then less than 2 weeks after you push that person out, you have this major incident. Go ahead, Rozzy.
Oh, I was just going to say, and don't forget, he disbanded the Aviation Safety Advisory Board. So there was no advisory board to say, hey, that shit's unsafe. So I just want to throw that out there, too. So that's one more thing that happened.
No, I appreciate you being my hype man, guys. So, but this is the real reason I'm angry right now at this president. So, because we actually, like I say, those two things may not have anything to do with one another. But when you come to a press conference and on one hand say you don't have all the information, but on the other hand say it's DEI, that is beyond offensive, beyond stupid, beyond ignorant, beyond any derogatory word you can think of. And I started it off by talking about Elon Musk because is he DEI? Because his fucking rocket blew up. Nothing ran into it. It just blew up. So is he DEI?
But it went all the way to space, Byron.
No,
DEIs ain't going to space, Byron.
Yeah. So what he's setting is every minority, whether you black, brown, gay, or a woman, which women are not a minority, but when it comes to certain positions in some of these work fields, they could be considered a minority. We all have to be perfect now. And the moment we're not, it's going to be, because he was a DEI person. Versus, that's a very stressful job, air traffic controller. And again, we don't even know what happened. We still don't even know what completely happened. But for him to come out and say that, I think was reckless. And this is what we got to deal with for 4 years. So, yeah, I did say we wasn't going to talk about his every move. But I'm going to have to walk that back because some of the shit I just can't let go.
Yeah.
I saw a post that said in 2020 it was Black Lives Matter, in 2021 it was woke, in 2023 it was something else, and now it's DEI. You mean black. You're saying black. Like, let's just be honest about it. Just call it what it is and just say we don't want those darkies doing this stuff. Like, just be upfront about it. Like, you see, I was frustrated last week. I'm frustrated again this week. So I'm with you, Buff. I'm with you.
So that's all I got, man. That's all I got.
They just need to go back to niggers. Just so we can all be on the same page. I mean, nothing's going to happen, so it doesn't matter. Just go back to niggers. Hard ER.
Right. Right.
So it's funny when you talk about your press conference, Buff, because I think so many people's jaws were just left wide open to the point it's like, I know he's not. I mean, we're still, because this is hours after, right?
They're still pulling bodies out of the water.
Pulling bodies, still getting the names of passengers, all the information, little to no information had been released. And somebody even called him out on that. And he just, I don't even know if he dodged a question. It was just kind of like...
He said because he's smart. He says because he's smart, and most people aren't smart.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Common sense. He said he has common sense, right?
That's what it was, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have common sense, and most people don't have common sense. And then, so that was Wednesday. We're recording the show on Friday night, and now there is another plane crash. In Philadelphia. It's a smaller plane. However, I don't know if you've seen the video, Rozzy. They released a video. Yeah, they released a ring video, and it didn't look. It looked pretty unnerving how fast the plane went down. It literally was, you know, it was just, it just dropped. It wasn't like drop. It nosedived. The ring video, they can't tell because of how grainy or cloudy the video is. Was it on fire? Were those the lights or whatever? They haven't had enough time to get information. But how abruptly the plane went down once again has people talking, right? I think at this point, to your point, Buff, we don't want to talk about it, but we've never seen anything like this before.
Hey, Ferg, let me ask you. We have made no secret how we feel about him. But I think even a reasonable, because we know the diehards are not, even a reasonable Trump supporter would say, this has been a bad 2 weeks. This has been a bad first 2 weeks.
They justify it, man.
I know. It's got to be one reasonable.
They're using the whole. Well, you know, it was Biden's stuff, right? Trump hasn't got in there, and he hasn't had time to really do anything, and so that's their excuse right now.
He's done a lot.
What about all the day one promises? Day one,
right?
He told us day one. It's been 14.
Yeah, I mean, rounded up all the U.S. citizens and he wants to put in detention centers because they look like Hispanics. So that was the day one promise that he's following through on now.
Well, they rounded up 5,500 people in Mobile.
And look, I can say something good about him. He is the master of creating a crisis and then solving it when there was never a crisis to be had. You look at the Colombia situation where they sent people there to Colombia, and Colombia's like, hey, first off, we've been doing that. The Biden administration was sending immigrants here illegally and sending them back to Colombia. The thing is, they did it in a humane way. They sent them on a regular plane, not some military plane where they're strapped in like animals and stuff, and then just gonna dump them off. And they like, Colombia's like, hey man, nah, y'all can't do our people like that. Nah. So it was never a crisis to begin with until he made it one. So, and that's the type of stuff he does, man. He creates crises, creates problems, and then somewhat solves them. And it's like, oh man, he's such a strong leader.
Mm-hmm.
You know the worst part of it, Buff, and I'll let you go, Razi, is I've given up trying to keep up already, just because there's so many things. I don't know what's fake or true. I don't know what's true or false.
I wonder if that's a part of his strategy. Give the Democrats so much they can't even keep up with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so when you hear, "Oh, that's not true," it's like, "Whoo, you forgot about this, right?" You know, it's like, but I didn't kiss her. You know, like it's, you know, it's. I
just raw dogged the stripper. I didn't kiss her in the mouth.
Yeah. What kind of animal do you think I am? Oh man, what you got, Razi?
Let's see. I would say happy Black History Month, because as you guys listen to this, but unfortunately that's DEI, and Trump put out a memo that the federal government is not going to recognize any affinity group holidays, or they'll if they're a federal holiday, you get the day off, whatever, but they will not recognize any of the holidays. So, or affinity months. So Black History Month, Women's History Month, Asian Pacific Heritage Month, anything like that. They're not going to recognize.
His press secretary was asked about that, and she said that they are. So I don't know what memo was put out, but it's kind of like with first, so you don't know what to believe. But she said that they are looking forward to celebrating Black History Month. So
they said American history. That's what they said. Like I saw the clip on that. So did she come out and actually say Black history? Because she was saying, okay, all right. The clip I saw, she was saying,
we'll see what happens though.
right. So because that's the clip I saw. She was saying, we celebrate American history, and left it at that. Like she wouldn't say that they were going to celebrate it. So I'm glad if she did say that. Getting to first point, right? Don't know what's real, what's not out there. Just know what's happening.
Right.
But one thing I can tell you that's happening is the largest TB outbreak in American history is happening in Kansas right now. And we have a secretary of for the Department of Health and Human Services
interviewer
that's going through confirmation right now, and he doesn't believe in vaccines. He basically is an anti-vaxxer. He's saying he's not because he's going through confirmation, so he's literally lying to Congress. But we have video of him saying that he is anti-vaxxer. Like
you did, Hexef.
Yep, Hexef did the same thing. So that
what's
happened.
The nonprofit he started? And I mean, they have like babe. I think we're talking about the baby onesies that says, vax free or some crap like that. It's like, you gonna change that? I'm not a part of that anymore.
Right, because you're running for this and you're up for it. It's just
you step down.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you change how you think about it. And on top of that, he feels like blacks should have a different vaccine schedule. Because you niggas don't need all the vaccines because y'all real strong and healthy. Essentially is what he said.
Different
antigens. So, but that goes to he's like, well, that's the facts. I'm like, no, it was a study and they said that doesn't make it a fact, a scientific fact like that the community and the medical community agrees with.
And you know what else? That wasn't even he said Poland, and he said it so vague that some people thought he was talking about the country of Poland. It's theoretically that he's talking about Dr. Poland, and Dr. Poland has said numerous times that Kennedy is misinterpreting and misusing what he said about that, and that he does not believe that black people need a different vaccine schedule. So that's who he was citing. So that's not even a study. But go on. I just wanted to get that in there.
Yeah, okay. Okay. That makes it a lot. I guess that makes it a little better because I'm like, Poland isn't like one of the whitest countries in the world. It's like,
what y'all know about niggas?
Poland did a study on all
except the niggas that there was some strong niggas in Poland.
We all know niggas from Poland are strong, right? Like, ain't never met a nigga from Poland, a weak nigga from Poland.
Oh man.
But yeah, but I'm worried, man, that more of things like this is going to happen, especially if he gets confirmed, which he probably is. If Headsets got confirmed, I feel like RFK is going to get confirmed too, and that again is just super scary for us. Trump has already shut down the Health and Human Services website, so people aren't getting any information. It's just a bad time for the least of us, and that's what I'm worried about. Listeners out there, we talk a lot about just empathy and worrying about people that aren't you, right? Like, most of Trump's policies, 99.9% of Trump's policies aren't going to affect Ferg, Buff, or Rozzy. Like, let's just be honest.
I don't know now, man. I don't know anymore.
I don't think it's going to get to that point where they're busting in our doors in our suburban little neighborhoods to try to look for the black people, right? Like that, I don't see us, unless we get profiled driving somewhere or something like that. That might happen, but with
I'm trying to make as many white friends as possible, just in case.
But even with that, man, it's like you have to look at what's happening to the poorest of us, right? Right now, one of the Treasury secretaries stepped down, or one of the high-level Treasury folks stepped down because Doge wanted access to the payment system for Social Security and Medicare. Like, there is no reason for Doge to be in the payment system, right? Like, there's no efficiencies there, right? You press send to the people who need it, and you send it to them. Like, I don't know why they're feeling like they need to get in that. So, again, I'm worried that people that really, really need the government's help and our help as a society aren't going to get it under this administration. And that's really what concerns me the most.
Don't mess with my disability either.
Right. They won't do that because, they love the veterans and all that. They probably will never. That was a rumor I heard
that he's trying to.
It was, and again, to Buff's point about he creates a problem and then he comes back like he's the savior, it's because he overlooks that, right? Because he doesn't understand government and how it's so interconnected. He writes a law that he feels like is going to affect the people he wants to affect, right? The black people, the minorities or whatever. He doesn't understand that, white women are going to get swept up into that too. Veterans are going to get swept up into that too. And then he comes back and is like, oh no, that's an exception. And he'll write an exception in. And now he's come to the rescue of those people. But the problem is you still screwed over everybody else that you wanted to screw over whenever you did what you did.
All I'm saying is, even if you don't want to say it's been the worst 2 weeks, it's factually been the most confusing. Like factually, when you got the State Department sending out emails saying that, hey, we're rescinding what we just emailed you guys yesterday. And if you have any questions, contact this person. And then when you look that up, no one has been hired to fill that position that they just told you to contact. It's been complete and utter confusion. And that's the best way to put it, because I think it's been the worst. I think it's been the worst first 2 weeks of any president I can remember.
I agree. Agreed. So that's all I got, likewise, man.
It's really all I got. Scary. I think it's the policies. You look at all the policies, and then you have the last 3 days.
Hey, he doesn't want to go visit the crash site because he might get wet. You heard that?
Yeah. What is he gonna do? Go swimming?
Yeah, he might get. Yeah.
Chilling. I mean, it's cold out there.
Go ahead. Let me stop picking on our president, man.
Yeah. I think the crazy thing is it's just so many things where these last 3 days have just made it kind of, if it was just policies, that would be one thing. You're just like, then you have this horrific plane crash. And I don't know if we said it, but once again, our hearts go out to those affected, right? It's more than it's always more than just the fatalities. It's the parents, it's the kids, it's the brothers, the sisters, it's the family members, it's the fiancés, it's all those people who are affected. We've all lost someone, and we know how far reaching a loss is, especially on mass scale. And instead of a president coming together and trying to unify the nation, he uses as a political ploy to further his agenda and attack people. And I haven't seen, and I'll say I haven't looked because I've been trying to avoid it, but I haven't seen any part of his interviews where he is making a heartfelt plea to bring people together and, let's pray for the family. I haven't seen any of that. It seemed like it was an immediate attack. And that's what's not even scary about it. I think this is what makes it so much more memorable is we have all the stuff going on. You have this plane crash that we haven't seen anything like this in what they said 16, 17 years.
Yeah. Worse. Yeah.
And so this is not the norm. Didn't happen under Biden, didn't happen under Barack, didn't happen under his terms, right? So we're looking at that, and he takes this rare occasion and turns it to political circus, political theater. And then you have what happened today, and I'm very interested to see how, I don't think he has learned, but he takes a different approach. Like, you've already done your damage. Like, let's not be an asshole again, more of an asshole. How is he going to address this? And what's next? And I feel like you have more conspiracy theories coming out of the woodworks in the last couple of days than I've seen in a long time. On both sides. They're blaming the Dems already. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be very interesting. Man, I don't have a lot, man. I'm just overwhelmed right now with the State of the Union. And we always used to joke about having an exit strategy, exit plan. I don't know if that's far-fetched. Like, I don't know if it'll get that bad, but just like, man, it ain't. It's 2 weeks in. We talking about just survive the next 4 years. Man, we're 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks in. Right? We're not even 2 weeks in, right? 2 weeks would be, I would be happy if we were 2 weeks in because we're closer to getting him out of here. Right? And at the rate he's going, I don't know if he's ever going to leave. This guy doesn't look like a president that's going to leave.
Right. He's literally taking plays out of the How to Be a Dictator playbook, right? Like purging leadership that doesn't agree with him, putting in loyalists. They're already trying to give him a third term, right? Change the Constitution or look at the Constitution as, since it wasn't consecutive, he should be able to do it again. And truthfully, that might go through. And so I don't see him leaving. And that's how you end up with a, Putin, and where they have an election, quote unquote, but he always wins, type thing. I could definitely see that happening there. It's crazy, man. I mean, little things like pulling the security for General Milley. Like, why would you pull the General Milley's security and everything like that? They're even talking about pulling his security clearance at this point. So I don't know what he did. They probably trumped something up on him, but at the same time, dang. But it's, even if it is, he still did what he was supposed to do. Pulling Dr. Fauci's security, right? Like anybody, he not only is he vindictive, right, and going after people that he thought was against him, he's just going after random people just because, like, and retribution, retaliation. It's just, oh man, I want something good to happen. I want him to do something good.
It's funny that you think that at best we will have an election. If he doesn't want to leave, that's at best. The fact that you think he would lose another election or the votes would matter is even funnier. If they find a way to say he can run for a third term, there's no way he'll lose. It has nothing to do with the votes. Yeah. Nothing to do with the votes. He's not stepping down. So, and I sometimes I think, are we so arrogant that we don't think that things we've seen happen across the globe could happen here?
Yes, we are that arrogant. That's the problem. Star Wars says it best. How does the Republic die? To thunderous applause. Like that is how it happens.
Yeah, I mean, every great empire has fallen. Every great empire. So let's go ahead and do it. We got Sophie.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see.
Razzie gave you a joke when he's talking about General Milley.
Yeah, that might be the best joke we've had.
Love, exciting and new. Hello, Hannah Waddingham here. Have you seen the fabulous new Sun Princess? World-class entertainment, exceptional dining, and the greatest pizza ever. It's alive.
Don't miss our Come Aboard sale with up to 40% off and free room upgrades. Visit princess.com or call your travel advisor to book. Princess Cruises. Terms and restrictions apply. Offer ends 2/28/25. Ships at Bermudan and British Registry.
Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast here to tell you about Michelob Ultra Courtside. It's getting fans closer to the NBA with a chance to win prizes like courtside seats, a trip to All-Star Weekend, and much more. Check it out at MichelobUltra.com/courtside. Michelob Ultra Superior Access, Courtside 24-25 sweepstakes, no purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 21 and up. Begins on October 1st, 2024, ends July 1st, 2025. Multiple entry periods. Visit MichelobUltra.com/courtside for free entry deadlines, and official rules. Message and data rates may apply. Void where prohibited.
You should ask them, have they ever heard of both of these?
Oh no, don't teach her that.
Huh?
Don't say that. No, hey, no, Sophie.
What's wrong?
That's inappropriate, and you're not teaching my goddaughter that nonsense.
What is wrong with you?
Yes, no.
Seriously.
What are you doing in here?
No.
What are you putting on the internet?
He's corrupting you.
Sophie, look at your goddaddy.
Look at your goddaddy. Do you know the story of Achilles?
Look at your god.
They're saying he's doing something.
The story of Achilles was that Achilles couldn't be killed because his mom grabbed him by the ankle and dipped him in the river Styx, right? And so he was immune other than where she held him. And they used his ankle. Yeah, they killed him in the ankle, right?
Okay.
So, but instead of Achilles...
Hey, Sophie, give us our joke.
Both of these...
I
His mom, like, she held him by the groin and put him in there.
Can I leave?
You just block this out. You'll tell your therapist about this when you get older.
I'm gonna use a whole bunch of buzzword jokes on you that you aren't gonna understand.
Okay, go ahead.
Because of what you've done to me today.
Go ahead.
How do trees get on the internet? They log in. I don't even want to talk to you.
Good one. I feel like I've heard that one before, and I just can't.
You probably have. It's a pretty basic one.
Yeah. Okay. So we're not good with that one because he got it.
Do you guys want me to get you another one? I could probably get you another one.
Sure.
Okay. Gotta find a good one. These are good. I don't trust you anymore.
What?
I don't want. No. Don't touch my phone. Don't. No, I don't even want to talk to you after that.
Well, bye. Get away.
Okay, that's fine. They're all gonna miss me. They're gonna miss you. That's why I don't like your joke.
Whatever.
That's why no one likes your joke. Because you're weird.
Both of these was funny.
No, because you're weird.
He is weird, Sophie.
Oh my God.
That's what you gotta think about. Yeah,
Why would you try to tell your daughter that joke?
She does more D's nuts jokes than I do.
If you had told Dre and Snoop and everybody involved in that Chronic album that these nuts would still be around with all type of new iterations and everything
30 years later.
Yeah. Oh man.
Nuts.
Yeah, but
Who did get to go last week, man?
I didn't go, but I don't want to go. I'm not a happy camper right now. But no, there was a time in fam with these nuts. It was just, it got to the point we didn't have to say it. We had a sign. It was just this. So it just, it'd be a perfect setup, and it's like, what? And everybody knew. So yeah, who wants to go? Buff, you are having a good day. What you sipping on, sir? Water?
Froze for a bit.
What you sipping on, Buff? Water?
Water, just water.
Okay. Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't really want to go.
I'll go real quick. Because like you mentioned the Super Bowl next week. There's a big fight coming up this weekend, I guess, Buff. There's a nice fight card this weekend. Yep. So but a nice warm up to the Super Bowl, but we got the Super Bowl coming up next week in New Orleans. And I know a lot of times people ask, who do you think's going to win? But ultimately, I don't want to ask who's going to win. I want to know, who would you rather see win? Would you want to see Patrick Mahomes make history, right? First three-peat in Super Bowl history? Or see Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley get their first Super Bowl?
I think Philly's going to win, and I want to see them win.
Okay.
So, same answer for both. The hell with Patrick Mahomes.
Hey, Patrick Mahomes making America great again. No, I'm fine either way, honestly. It's funny how some people are just so adamant, if they're not a fan of either, so adamant either way, like kind of buff, like, man, screw Patrick Mahomes. Like, yeah. I really don't, I don't have, I wouldn't mind either one of those young men winning. I think it would be great to see Saquon and Jalen Hurts get it. But the older I get, the more I appreciate greatness in rare moments. And so to be alive and to be able to say, man, I remember watching Patrick Mahomes. I remember watching his growth. And I remember where I was when he got his first three-peat, right? Like it's we just said it's never been done. Was rare to see a back-to-back, let alone a three-peat, for this guy to be in 5 of 7 Super Bowls, AFC Championship every year, to see somebody so young do these things. I think that three-peat arguably puts him in the conversation of the greatest.
The GOAT. Yeah.
Yeah. And
that was going to be my follow-up is because if he gets it, is he the GOAT?
4 Super Bowls in 7 years, three-peat. I know there's the refs. I know that's part of the argument, but let's not forget a lot of the things that got slid under the rug for Patrick Mahomes. And then every year I feel like there's always a losing team or somebody who got cheated by the refs. The Saints fans for years, remember they were trying to turn over a playoff game and stuff like that because of a bad call. We've all seen our teams lose to bad calls and all this stuff. And I don't know if it's just the fact that once the noise started, that the calls, even though they might seem egregious, there's more eyes on it. Like, it's just like you're looking for people to mess up, right? Mm-hmm. If you do that with every team, it's like, do you not see it? Because that spotlight's not on it. So I want Patrick Mahomes to win, just because I want to see greatness happen. And because he's a black quarterback, and I just want Josh Allen to keep losing in life until Lamar gets one. If Lamar gets one, then Josh Allen can get one. But until then,
yeah,
I support that.
Yeah, I can see that. I think I'm with you, Bert. I want to see Mahomes get the three-peat because his name is going to ring in the history books more than Jalen or Saquon just getting there first, right? Like, you're at the cusp of putting him in the conversation with Tom Brady, right? Like, right now we're saying Tom Brady's the GOAT, and I don't think there's an argument that says he's not. And so with that, does this three-peat bump Mahomes up to where you're like, I don't know, he might have it over Brady, right? And so that's why I want to see it, but I want to swing back around to you, Buff. So do you think that puts him in the conversation, or does it bump him up above Brady?
I think he's already in the conversation. I mean, I think Brady still is considered the GOAT, and I say considered because, listen, I still think Jerry Rice deserves some mention, man. That dude is still a GOAT to me, but for the sake of the argument, I think Brady is still the GOAT, but Patrick Mahomes is in that conversation. If he three-peats, he's not even 30 yet, I don't think. No. So yeah. So if he three-peats, then I still don't have him above Brady, but it's like 1A, 1B at that point.
What puts Brady above him? And what would it take for him to get there?
A couple of things puts Brady over him. One, Brady is the reason that he doesn't have 5 Super Bowls right now instead of the 3. Brady beat him in the AFC Championship, then he beat him in the Super Bowl. On top of the fact, Brady has 7 Super Bowls. On top of the fact that up until last year, Patrick Mahomes' numbers in the Super Bowl are very pedestrian. Like, that Super Bowl against Brady, he had like no touchdowns and 100 and some passing yards.
Yeah.
That's very pedestrian.
But he also, like, if you go back and watch that game, Mahomes did not lose that game. If you go watch that game and not like the first time, that dude played his ass off. When I say it was reminiscent of what we saw with Lamar Jackson, but it happened over and over again. Like, he's scrambling for his life. His line was depleted. Brady didn't have a great game that game either. Tampa Bay beat him. But the fact that this dude was scrambling, making some great plays, like, and it's, all he needed was Coach Jones to catch the damn ball. Like, it was like I said, when I saw that drop, it made me think about freaking during the Lamar Jackson game, Ravens game. It made me think of that Super Bowl where this dude did so much right and people were just literally dropping the ball. And but it took Brady had 7, right? Or 6? 7?
Yeah, 7.
7 in 20 years, right?
So
20 seasons.
I wasn't even done yet. So he had 7 Super Bowl championships. I think he went to 10 Super Bowls. 10 Super Bowls. Add on the amount of AFC championships he went to. Add on, he had a Tyreek Hill type receiver one season, and they damn near went perfect. Other than that, and then he had Gronk. So I do got to say that he had Gronk, and Mahomes has Kelsey. But yeah, he lost a lot of coordinators, and then I think the big joker for Brady is, because they always say it's the system. He leaves New England in the very first year he wins in Tampa.
Right.
But it is reminiscent of, and I'm not disagreeing with you. My counter is to that is it's similar to Stafford going and getting his first Super Bowl, right? It's a team.
Not really.
It was a team because Brady didn't have a great season.
I mean, but you can't say it's kind of like Stafford because Stafford hadn't won a Super Bowl.
No,
Brady already had 6.
No, what I'm saying is the fact that they weren't. The fact that Tampa was a team that they just needed a good quarterback. Tampa just needed they needed a above average quarterback who wasn't going to turn over the ball to get him there. And you had the chance to get Brady. Of course you're going to jump on it. Like, who wouldn't do it? And I think it was similar to that situation where Stafford was, hey, I can go. This is a team that needs a quarterback that can go all the way. And Brady is I'm not trying to say like he's a scrub or anything. It's just I don't think 7 years in were we saying was Brady going to be the GOAT, right? And the fact that Brady, and this all might be part of his GOATness as well, is the fact that he got to play for so long to get those 7 rings. The fact that he got to play for 20 years means a lot, right?
Brady did have 3 rings in his first 7 years now. Remember, when he first started, they went and won and beat the Rams. Then they didn't make the playoffs the next year, even though they went 11-5. But the very next year, they came back and beat Carolina. And then the year after that, they beat Philadelphia. Brady was that dude, bro.
Brady definitely was. And you're like at laying it out, it's going to be hard for anybody to match that, right? Like,
yeah, because you're not going to get 20 years.
That longevity that you talk about.
Yeah.
So, and it's not all about rings. You could make the case
in this case, we're talking about the rings.
Yeah.
just because it's greatness. And it might not be, if Patrick Mahomes doesn't play for 20 years, is he going to get 7 rings? Probably not. But if he plays for 10 years and gets 5 or gets, 6, like, ain't nobody doing that, right? And
that's why I say you can't just look at the rings, right? It's the same way MJ, you can't just say it's about rings because there are people who have more rings than him. So, I think it puts him in the conversation, just like you said, but if he's in the combo now, we're watching to see, can he overtake Brady? Him winning a three-peat doesn't automatically give it to him, but if he continues on, even if he doesn't get a couple years and then comes back, maybe he ends up changing teams or something. But if he can get to about 5-6 with that three-peat, I think you start looking at, okay, Brady is 7, him at 6, he had the three-peat, something. It's going to be, the conversation will be there to have. So he's on the cusp, he can do it. And that's why I'm rooting for him. I'm like, I want him to get this 3rd one, because now we can see that steamroller going, and maybe he has an opportunity to be able to say, yep, he's going to take it.
So I guess the last question to that, would you take a healthy Tom Brady with a healthy New England squad, or a healthy Mahomes with a healthy KC squad? Who are you taking?
Today?
I think that's what comes down to greatness. Sometimes we look at time periods, what was going on. Brady won that. Like even Manning's 2nd Super Bowl, he got his 2nd ring, but that wasn't the Manning that we knew and loved as arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. But he doesn't have the ring count to because he was playing during that time. But those are the things I look at, and that the conversation I have, like, would you take Jordan on? Would you start a franchise with Jordan? Would you start it with LeBron? It's, hey, yeah, he lost to this guy, but he was, who played a better game? Who looked better? Like at a certain point, you take them at their prime. Who's a better quarterback? Who can just make happen? And is Brady that much better in the pocket? Does he make his decisions that much better? The fact that Mahomes is
he
a little
leading
more
the
agile,
team, right? Like that's the other part about it is he leading the team? Is he being the captain? Is he like bringing them up to be better?
So in that Super Bowl, Brady definitely outplayed him. So I don't remember the AFC Championship numbers, but he definitely outplayed him in the Super Bowl.
Did he outplay him or did he outstat him? And I think that's what Ferg is.
You tell me, he threw 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Mahomes, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
And Mahomes, because Mahomes had to do a lot. When I say go back and watch that Super Bowl, like I'm sitting like, man, can y'all give this dude a break? Like he's doing it all, and
so his line was good enough to make it to the Super Bowl.
His line was hurt at the Super Bowl,
but then they get to the Super Bowl and
it's the Shedeur Sanders argument, right? It's like, hey, this kid's great. His line is like
No. I'm not saying like over the season. I'm saying going into the Super Bowl. Right, go watch the first 10 minutes, Buff, and I guarantee they talk about how injured his line is. Like that's how that's.
Yeah, I know that.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you're there.
2 head-to-head matches. One is on 2 different teams. Won both.
The one he lost was his rookie season, his first year playing. Like that was his first year starting.
Again, so he was good enough to get to the AFC Championship, but once in the AFC Championship, it's because he's a rookie. He lost.
I'm just saying, you're playing. We're talking about your
Brady because in the same situation with Brady, he won his Super Bowl. His first year starting.
He didn't come
against the greatest show on turf.
He's playing against arguably what we're saying, hey, you're playing arguably the 2 best quarterbacks ever happen to meet. Right? You are at the pinnacle of your success. You are already considered the GOAT. We had no idea who Mahomes was. It took the greatest quarterback ever to beat you in the AFC Championship game as a rookie. And we're like, yeah, but Brady just beat him. Like, dude, you lost to the greatest quarterback.
Have you seen Aaron Rodgers? Brady was like 41.
And he still won a Super Bowl. You just said he still won a Super Bowl.
And beat him again 2 years later.
Brady's the GOAT.
All I'm saying is you asked the question. No. But he asked the question, who would you take in their prime? Man, I'm saying outside of his prime, Brady beat him. Right? This wasn't the Carolina Panthers. Remember that Carolina Panthers Super Bowl? That was a shootout. Steve Smith scoring, the Muhammad receiver. That was a shootout. That was prime Brady. This is over the hill Brady.
He got his last.
Who didn't have a Tyreek Hill?
Who got his? My whole thing is.
I'm saying you asked the question,
and I asked the question, and you and I said.
So outside of his prime, he won. So in his
prime with a healthy team.
But
that was my
Mahomes
question.
Wasn't in his prime.
Mahomes 3 years ago.
Wait. The very next season, he threw 50 touchdowns. He hasn't thrown that many since. So what are you talking about?
But he hasn't thrown that many since. But he's doing other things, right, to make. No,
he's letting his defense carry him this year.
He hasn't been that great. Brady beat him. He let his defense carry him that year. What I'm saying is,
in the AFC Championship, Brady put up 30-some points. And in the Super Bowl, he threw 3 touchdowns. That's not being carried. They scored 31 points.
Watch the game. I was sitting there
saying watch the game like I didn't see the game.
Sometimes we gotta go. I was talking about a game the other day. I was talking about the game Brady lost to the Immaculate Conception when the helmet catch. And when I go back and look at the catch, because I almost downplayed the catch a little bit, I'm like, I'm like, oh, that was all the receiver. Then I go back and watch Eli, and I'm like, you know what? Eli busts his ass for that play. I kind of forgot some of the dynamics of it because we talk about the catch and not the throw and and the scramble and all that stuff.
I didn't, because that was almost ruled a sack.
And I remember that part, but I like the almost a sack, the scramble, the throwing on the run. Like, it was a great play. We talk about it's known as the catch, the helmet catch, right? Most people don't talk about everything that happened going up to that play. So when I'm saying go back in to watch the game, sometimes I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. Like, dang. Like, and I'm not saying that Brady didn't play a great game. I'm just saying this guy compared to, and we can leave at this.
This how great Brady was. He is three miracle plays, not games, plays from having 10 Super Bowl championships. We look at his 7 like, damn. The helmet catch that Ferg mentioned, the Mario Manningham catch on the sideline that Eli threw, and then the trick play that Philadelphia did. Those are the 3 plays that kept him from winning 10 Super Bowls. So when you ask to button it up, who would I take in their prime? Probably Brady. And I think Mahomes, but I will say I think Mahomes is more talented because he can scramble, he's accurate, he can do all of that stuff. But I've seen what Brady, as somebody who rooted against Brady the majority of his career, I've seen what he can do.
Okay, I can respect that.
Yep.
Switch to Verizon Business and get more from your internet without paying more for your internet. Get LTE Business Internet starting at $39 a month when paired with a Business Unlimited smartphone plan. That's unlimited data, and with it, unlimited possibilities. Start saving today with Verizon Business, ranked #1 in small business internet customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Starting price for 25 megabits per second internet plan with savings, plus taxes, fees, and economic adjustment charge. Terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Hey, Fidelity. How can I remember to invest every month?
With the Fidelity app, you can choose a schedule and set up recurring investments in stocks and ETFs.
Oh, that sounds easier than I thought.
You got this.
Yeah, I do. Now, where did I put my keys?
You will find them where you left them.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
So I did not think this question was going to go this long.
No, I think it's a better.
Come on,
because when we compare LeBron and Jordan,
exactly.
and like it's different because the way their style of play and all this stuff, you're the quarterback of the team, right? When you don't play, you don't play. I think what stands out to me just for Mahomes is like in 7 seasons what he's done. Like, I'm in the AFC Championship game every year, 7 years in a row. Like, and it's just like, I don't think I've seen anybody like consistent, like just he hasn't had your worst year. You lost AFC Championship game. Like, that's your worst year. You know, we talk about, hey, Brady to make it to the playoffs, 11-5. Like, your worst year, you lost AFC Championship game. Like, I've never seen anything like that where
same amount of rings in 7 years though.
Huh?
Same amount of rings in 7 years though.
Not yet. This is his 7th year. He might. Hey, he has a chance to get his 5th. This, you know what I'm saying? 5.
This will be his 4th.
You're right, 4th. Yeah, his 4th.
Yeah. 4th in 7 years.
Okay, he lost 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah,
He lost 1 Super Bowl and made it to 2. Did make it out of 2 AFC championships. That's what it was. But you had your chance to go 4 in 7 years. I'm like, man, your 2nd worst season, you lost the Super Bowl. Like that's the downfall of your career. Brady is the man. Like he's been the man. But it's like 20 years, like, because there was times we weren't talking about Brady being the best because other people might have their 1 year, 2 years.
So we can't cheat for Mahomes. This is his 8th season. I know he didn't start that first season, but this is his 8th. So we can't. So they have the same amount of rings in 7 years. This is his 8th season.
Yeah, because Brady started his first year, right?
No,
he didn't.
So if we're doing that, then we got to talk about the years that Brady was on the bench. And like, it's just like,
we don't. When Brady came in when Bledsoe got injured, and he won a Super Bowl when he first became the starter.
Yeah.
Mahomes started a season. Alex Smith was the quarterback. He was on the bench that first season. He didn't play. He didn't start that first season. This is 8th season.
So 7th full season. But that's how they always look at it. His 7th full season. All I'm saying is for 7 years, huh?
I said this is 8th. This is 8th.
Not full season.
Yes, it is. If you're on the team, that's a season in the league.
Full season. Full season. Is it
as a starter? As a starter, yes.
Okay. So,
we just can't move the goalposts because we wanted to.
So Brady started his rookie.
They both last year.
His rookie year.
In his 7th year, Mahomes won his 3rd Super Bowl. Brady had 3 Super Bowls in his first 7 years.
So Brady won a Super Bowl as this first year starting, or his first year. I mean, as a rookie.
First year starting, he won, but that's because he came in mid-season.
But
was that his rookie year? Or no?
So that wasn't his rookie year.
Brady was in the league for more than 1 year, but as a rookie. I mean, as on the bench. So I think he was on the bench for 2 years or so. We can look it up.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I don't that. Okay. Y'all might have me on that one then.
Yeah. Good counter. Good counter.
He came in his rookie year.
Yeah, it wasn't his rookie year. But like I said, because I remember the fact that somebody can challenge Brady for one is phenomenal.
All right, so he was drafted in 2000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was his rookie season. He started one game. He had an 0-1 record for that
in 2002.
They won the 2001, which is the game is actually played in 2002 Super Bowl, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Damn, that was fun. Oh, but I don't think he's going to win, so it will be the same after he loses to Philadelphia.
I mean, it could be. It could be. And considering he's a DEI hire.
He's not, because they like him.
He's one of the good ones.
Isn't that what DEI is about?
But I will say there will be no bad outcome. Like, I rooted for him last year because it was him versus Brock Purdy, and I'm not rooting for Brock Purdy when Patrick Mahomes' daddy is black. So I'm not doing that.
It's okay to call him black. I mean,
he didn't say Patrick Mahomes black. His daddy black.
Yeah.
See, I rock with you because you're black.
That's how I did it when the first time they played Philly in the Super Bowl. I said, I'm rooting for the quarterback who mama black.
There's a hierarchy to blackness, right? We're gonna talk about it in the show.
Patrick Mahomes is that dude, though. So
yeah,
I do want to make that clear for anybody who think I'm no Patrick. He is that dude.
What's funny is, just a couple of years ago, I didn't think anybody, we would even be having this conversation so soon. Like, I thought it was going to be,
that's crazy, right?
It was going to be years before anybody could potentially.
Brady just retired.
Yes,
he just retired.
Yes, yes.
That's crazy, man.
Yes.
And I just want to know how well he practices, because if you remember, Alex Smith wasn't great, but they were making the playoffs. They were going like 12-4. I think even 13-3. And Andy Reid was still like, you know what? Next year we start Mahomes. And I was like, damn, that's a bold move. Mahomes must have had a hell of a practice, though.
Yeah, because if I remember Alex Smith was kind of a game manager, though. Like, that was the thing. He was a game manager. Yeah. So you take a game manager and you build a solid team around a game manager. Strong defense. You have a couple of playmakers. Just don't mess it up. And then you get this anomaly who might be the second greatest quarterback ever, right? Top three, arguably. I think most people can accept that top three. So young, and he's mobile and all this other stuff. So you're just as good at worst as Alex Smith. You're more mobile. You got a better arm. I don't know why we wouldn't, risk it, right? that was the thing. Game managers around a stout team, it's hard to move on from. And then you find that diamond in the rough is like, man, we done built this team. San Francisco. I think Brock Purdy is a little above a game manager, just a little above a game manager. But the team they built around him, that defense, freaking, your running game, all this stuff. You get an elite quarterback that can just make crazy plays. What are you doing? And
that's the thing. That's what brings you out, or bring like a step above, and brings you into the discussions of greatness. It's when the play fails, what happens, right? Mm-hmm. When somebody blows through your O-line, can you still make something happen? Those game managers usually can't. Those game managers take the sack, right?
They're gonna throw it away or take a sack.
That's the thing. Versus, your Mahomes and like those folks that are gonna get away, Jalen's, right? They're gonna get away and they're gonna make something happen. So
it's so unfair to an NFL quarterback. It's an unfair position in that, as a basketball player,
it's team.
It's like whoever's on the team, we're going to judge them by rings. So, like with Steph Curry, it's how many rings he got. Klay Thompson is how many rings they got. With football, it only matters to the quarterback. Nobody has ever said, man,
Barry
Emmitt Smith only got 3 rings, but he should have got 5. You know what I mean? It's only on the quarterback. Like we're talking about Mahomes. None of the other players matters when it comes to rings. I just think that's so funny, man. Like
we had this conversation.
We only judge quarterbacks by rings.
Everybody else is by their stats, right?
Yeah. And it was crazy is we had this conversation. It was a group of guys that we were with for New Year's, and we had the same conversation. And it was a debate, and we went through the top 20 quarterbacks ever, something like that. And a fair amount didn't have rings, or only had 1 ring. Aaron Rodgers, right?
Mm-hmm.
One.
The only quarterback that I've seen get a pass is Dan Marino.
Yeah.
He seems to usually make everybody's top something.
Yeah.
That doesn't have a ring.
Barry Sanders is, in a lot of people's book, the best running back ever. Ain't even come close.
No rings. Right.
Not even close. It's just like it is an unfair position. And because you have some really good quarterbacks, and I think there's levels of quarterbacks. You have your game managers, you have your gunslingers, and it's hard for gunslingers to win because they're doing everything you say, Rozzy. When the defense gets through the line and all the stuff, they make a play. And at the same time, they make some costly mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Greatness,
I just want to
is that fine line that like they'll take the sack when needed, right? They'll take the sack when needed. They'll make a play when needed, and they don't make a lot of mistakes. I think that's it. They don't make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
And I guess they get all the blame and stuff because they literally touch the ball every play on.
That's really what it is, right? Even if it's a run play, they're handing it off 99% of the time.
I just want to say though, to the sports shows that wonder why we Lamar Jackson fans ride so hard for him, it's not just because he was doubted in the draft and was asked to play a different position. It's that you still subtly do it, since we talk about quarterbacks. So when Lamar Jackson lost his playoff game, I saw a sports show that said, was that loss Lamar Jackson's fault? And that's a fair question to ask. That's fair. But then the very next week when Josh Allen loses, the question was, do you feel bad for Josh Allen? What the f***? What? Don't he get paid just like Lamar?
Right.
So why you ain't asking was it his fault? I mean, they both had, tight ends drop a ball and shit like that. So
yeah, it's
just little subtle shit like that, man,
because
that annoys us, man.
I'm a firm believer that you talk about what sells, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think people are going to get on the bandwagon that Josh Allen can't win the big game? Nobody cares. He's another white quarterback that hasn't won the big game. A black quarterback that shouldn't even be there, that shouldn't have, that held out, did all these things. It's what sells. I tell people love a good villain in sports, a good person not to root for, a good person to blame and talk about, are they living up to their potential? A flop? Oh, a bust? Oh man, bust sailed.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the thing, you know. It's
we celebrate it.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny. We celebrated somebody's failure. Nobody makes it all the way to the league and said, "Man, I can't wait till I get to the NFL so I can fail."
And I always say, when I talk about sports, I always look at it like this: only one person can win. Like, that's it. It's 32 teams. Every year, only one person can win. The other 31 teams failed. Right? It could be a missed kick. It could be a drop 2-point conversion, bad coaching, bad refereeing, whatever, but at the end of the day, you did not accomplish a goal. You know, and all of a sudden, it was a failure, right? But we like to talk about the failures. We like to, you like to talk about, like I said, I was talking about my former team, my ex-team, but I go back to LeBron all the time, is like how people talk about LeBron as if this dude is trash.
Right.
Like you don't have to like him. You can say he sold out the teams and all this stuff, but to say he's trash on the court, that's freaking sacrilege. Like, you can't. This dude is definitely one of the best players to ever grace the court. You have to respect that. You know, you even said you weren't a fan of Brady growing. Like, you rooted against Brady. A lot of us hated Brady, but then I think after ring number 5, like, this nigga be balling. Like, I probably rooted against his first 5 or 6 rings. I know I rooted against several rings, right? Now he did win some rings, like the Seattle.
Yeah.
So you can take one of the helmet catches.
He can thank Pete Carroll for that ring.
Yeah. So, but my thing is, we're too tough on people, and everybody wants to talk about. I guarantee we could turn on sports right now, because it's basketball season. They're talking about the Lakers and LeBron. They're talking about Bronny. They're talking about all the things that are his story. And people that don't even watch the sport are going to say the same thing. Why don't you like LeBron? It's like a checklist. Like, pick the 10 things that you don't like. Like, here are the 10 things you can say about LeBron that everybody accept. And you might pick your type 3 or 4. Oh, he flops. You know, like, everybody's going to say the exact same things about the exact same players. Lamar Jackson doesn't show up in a big game. Steph Curry doesn't show up in the big games. Like, it's like, dude, this dude's arguably one of the best shooters ever. Not arguably, the dude is the best shooter ever. And until his last ring, he doesn't show up in the big game. You know, but if you hit on something right there, I get pissed off about that, is our expectations on athletes and certain athletes. But let's go ahead and close it out, man. We get one question. And I'm rooting for the team that doesn't go to the White House. That should be the question. Which team going to the White House?
They both going. Eat their little McDonald's that he gonna buy them.
So let this be a lesson, Rosie. When you bring up sports or rap, that it's gonna go a while. Which made it fun, man. We always say it's a barbershop style podcast. I really felt like we was in the barbershop.
Yep.
I'm getting my shave. I'm leaning up, talking to Ferg.
Hey, be still.
Yeah. You always. I'm gonna just say this too. You always know the argument is good when one person just say, "What? What? Are you serious?" You get a "Are you serious?" in there, dog. Mm-hmm. It's some good debate going on.
But I can respect nobody called none of the players we talked about trash or anything.
Oh yeah,
right. You know, because there's people out there. Oh, Mahomes is trash. We're like, it's like, dude, how? So
no way. The brother threw 50 touchdowns in the season. Come on, come on.
Yeah, doesn't happen.
Lighting the league up. Matter of fact, we better be glad he don't still have Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
He found a way. I don't know. Like, I keep waiting on him to lose, though. And this might be the game. But I kept waiting on him to lose. I'm like, okay, they are just doing enough. I think they're, 12, 13 games straight where they win by a single score? I'm like, oh, you show up in big moments. Who's first?
I'll just go and say just some routine stuff, man. Make sure you subscribe. Three Brothers No Sense. We're on any podcast platform. Also, you can check us out on Inspire You on Air through the Contentville app. New episodes drop every Monday. And remember, on Contentville, you can check out past episodes as well as on other, just like other podcast platforms. So check us out. Three Brothers will be in Mobile's Mardi Gras the Monday before Fat Tuesday again this year. So if you're in the Mobile area, definitely be looking out for us once we get more information on what float we're on and what side we're going to be on. We'll put it out there. And yeah, that's it, man. Check us out. Tell a friend. Remember, we're trying to grow substantially this year. So tell a friend, spread the word. Three Brothers No Sense.
Let's go. So all I got, man, is Lil Wayne announced that the Carter 4 is coming out. Not the Carter 4, the Carter 6 is coming out. Yeah, I had my IV, my dyslexia kicked in. So the Carter VI is coming out this year. So be ready for that, man. And for all the Marvel fans out there, 2 weeks, we're counting down. We got our Black Captain America. So I need everybody to go out there and support. I don't care if you're not excited or whatever. Go out, support the movie, man. We need more. We want to see us. We want DEI. We want, representation. Then you need to go out and you need to support these movies and these black tentpole franchises. So shout out to Eric Mackey and the whole Marvel crew. Let's go see the Captain America Brave New World coming out. I think it's on February 13th. So that's all I got, man.
I don't have much. I'm just going to reach out to our listeners again. Do better than the Three Brothers. Don't let Buddy spoil your week. Don't let him spoil your week. As a matter of fact, do this. Don't even look for whatever he says and just wait until we talk about it so you can hear it here for 15 minutes and move on with your life. Don't go looking for anything he says and or does. Stay safe out there. Stay DEI. DEI to the day I Stay DEI. DEI to the day I die. Three Brothers No Sense. 6 Rules of Podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment. Most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.